Hi, and welcome to Haunted AF, the podcast of real ghost stories told by real people. We are your hosts. I'm Julie Fisk.
And I'm Rebecca Black.
And it's still weird to me to hear the new theme song.
I know, right? I'm not used to it because we had it memorized.
Yeah, I know. We would sit here and repeat it back. Plus, we had the same intro for 2 straight years.
Was it that long?
It was. All right, coming up, we have got a great story from our friend Scott, the guy who makes all the theme songs for us.
Oh, we love him.
Yes, and we're also going to help Shoshana with a mother-in-law dream that she had in our Behind the Pillow segment.
But first, a reminder that there are several ways that you can support this podcast. You can buy merch at hauntedaf.com. There's some great stuff over there. We are both sporting our tie-dye Haunted AF shirts.
But what is it called again?
Tie-dye?
No, I was like Haunted AF. Sorry.
There's some great stuff over there, like we just said. You can also leave a good review. I say good review? No, let's leave a great review on Apple Podcasts, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you prefer to watch us instead.
Let's jump into it. This story comes from John, and John wanted to he's from Asheville, North Carolina, and he wanted to let us know he was actually not hit by the flood or by the hurricane.
Good.
In Asheville, I know. So because everybody who lives in that part of the country, that's the first thing everybody asks.
Hi, Julie and Rebecca. My name is John. I live right outside of Asheville, North Carolina. I have 2 stories for you today. One happened literally less than a mile from my house. I was driving home and there's a bend in the road, and out of the corner of my eye, above a creek, there is a woman floating in the air in a flowing white dress that looks drenched, and her hair is just like stringy and floaty, and I look over, she's there, and then she's not. I had no explanation for it. I was covered in goosebumps, and it was terrifying. She was like 9 feet in the air. I have no explanation for it. It was really creepy. Woo! My other story is less creepy, and I don't know what to call it. One night I was out doing some Instacart runs just for a little bit of extra money, and I'm in this small town called Ridgecrest. I had just dropped off a whole bunch of groceries for someone at this church, and I come up a hill. There's a house with a brick wall, and in front of that brick wall, I see a baby bear. I see bears all the time where I live because we're in the mountains. My headlights had not hit the bear yet, so it didn't move. My headlights hit it. There's nothing there. It's gone. There's no reason for it to be gone. It was so strange. That's all. Well, thanks.
Oh a baby bear ghost.
Yeah.
That makes me really sad.
I know.
It's like, what happened to him?
For his mommy.
Oh. Thank you so much for those stories, John. This one comes from our patron, Catherine. I'm currently visiting my parents in Oregon, and last time I was here, it took weeks for anything spooky to happen. This trip took 4 days.
Okay.
So I think we can safely assume that whoever is haunting this house hates a lot of noise. My parents have my eldest niece and her son living with them currently, and the boy, who is 4, loves YouTube.
Of course.
Well, I had hidden the remotes so he couldn't watch YouTube while we were cleaning the house, and he was exceptionally pissed. He was fussing and running through the kitchen towards his room, and that's when my mom and I heard the most horrible roar. So think of the sound that the sand monster made in that scene from The Mummy.
Yeah.
I had to go and look it up.
Okay.
I'll post a link, but it's like this.
Yeah, like legit from the depths of hell.
Yes, like horrible. My nephew screamed and ran to his room while Mom and I just looked at each other in shock. It was not a sound that could come out of any of us. I ended up talking to the house and asked it to calm down.
Like, please.
Not long after that, one of my nephew's toys started playing music and the atmosphere started to lighten up.
Good.
So at some point it happened again, but I'm happy to say I didn't hear it. Whew. Mom says it was the same sound, just a little quieter. So until next time, hope you're enjoying your break. And that one is from Catherine.
Sounds like the ghosts just were like, we want to watch our YouTubes. Like, give the kid back the iPad so that we can watch our YouTube.
I didn't even think of that. I thought he was just like tired of listening to the little kid bitch.
I mean, that could be it too,
but I really prefer that one.
Too.
And can I just say, Catherine is being very nonchalant about something that sounds terrifying.
Yes, because I don't know what I would do if I heard something like that in any scenario.
No, I would not be cool with that.
All right, our next story says... Hey guys, so I'm Amani, and my ghost story takes place when I was about 4 years old. I was living in an apartment with my mom, dad, and little sister, who was only a couple of months old at the time. We shared a room and her crib was in there, but on this particular night, I was laying in my bed alone. I guess my little sister was downstairs with my parents, so I was just chilling under my Winnie the Pooh sheets and hanging my hands above my head off the top of the bed. Oh, we've all done that.
Yeah.
I was laid out flat on my back when I swear I felt something grab both of my hands and literally pulled me. I remember clear as day because my head actually hit the headboard. I immediately started screaming, so my parents ran upstairs to see what happened, and I told them the whole story. My dad looked under my bed and said, "There's nothing under here." But needless to say, I did not sleep in that room for quite a while after that. To this day, I never hang my hands or feet off the bed, and I'm 28 now.
Yeah.
Also, when my little sister was about 1, she would stand in my parents' doorway and cry, saying that there was something black and scary on the wall. I don't know if that apartment was really haunted because those were the only experiences we had, but I do know we didn't live there much longer after that. Thanks for reading my story. I love the podcast, Amani.
Okay.
Oh, what a good story, Amani.
That's too much.
It is.
Yeah, because we've had the story about the finger coming,
right,
tickling the bottom of your
which
foot.
are all great. I love those.
The finger in the armpit.
Yeah.
But grabbing you and pulling you so your head hits the headboard.
That's good.
That is messed up. Thank you so much for that. So, a little bit of spooky news that we wanted to share with you guys. I feel like we kind of need a theme song for spooky news.
Ooh, okay.
Because we've had a couple of these lately where we just have a little update, stories that we've read in the news that are a little weird.
Scott, get on it.
Scott, get on it. Something with a little kind of breaking news. Yes, exactly.
Ooh, breaking news. So a huge boom was heard in our region last night, along with a flash of light. KNWA Doug Warner says people in the DFW area heard the same loud boom that many in Northwest Louisiana also heard. So in the DFW area around 8-ish, and then in Northwest Louisiana after 8:30 p.m. Perhaps something entering the atmosphere and then moving across the sky to the east, a military plane creating a sonic boom, maybe?
I don't know. Those all sound like good suggestions.
Right. So we're actually taping this episode on February 2nd, so this is going to be old news by the time you guys get to hear it. Did you hear the boom?
I did not hear the boom.
Me either. We live in Dallas.
I know. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't hear it. And some people said that their Ring doorbell picked it up. So
now I'm going to go check all my Ring videos.
The thing is, it's we hear crazy shit all the time at our house.
So true.
So me and some of my girlfriends who will be like, "Do you know what that was? Did y'all hear that? Was that gunshots?" There's coyotes walking down.
It's always coyotes.
It's always coyotes. We did have a bobcat last week.
Oh,
though.
nice.
But usually they would have commented on this and
nobody?
No, but honestly, it really sounds like a meteorite to me because that's what it is. It's like the flash of light and a boom. But I love it when that happens and it's like my neighborhood.
Right.
It's like, holy crap.
A haunted house or a vampire spree will tell you what it means to be. In the world of dreams, we know all the secrets lie beyond the pillow.
So that is the shortened version of the Beyond the Pillow theme song, courtesy of our friend Scott, who's actually coming up with a story in just a couple of minutes.
I can't wait to hear that.
Girl,
yeah,
get ready.
Okay.
But if you want to hear the full version, we do have it posted on our Patreon page because everybody loved it so much.
It's so good and so sexy.
Yes. So, but here's our first Beyond the Pillow of 2025.
Yep. This one comes from Shoshana. She says, I went to stay at my former in-laws in the dead of night. In the dream, they had a sprawling mansion and their living room was the size of a gymnasium. I quietly let myself in and the place was cloaked in shadow, lit only by moonlight. I didn't want to disturb anyone, so I left the lights off and tiptoed deeper into the house, planning to sleep in one of the guest rooms. Then I realized this was a dream and I was inside a building. Something I always avoid in dreams.
Really?
I turned, searching for the door, and suddenly the silhouette of a large man was right in front of me. It resembled the Black Hood from Riverdale. I tried to scream and wake myself up, but I was paralyzed. I could only make little whimpers in the back of my throat. The black figure came close, reaching for me. Then he poked me in the ribs with just his pointer fingers.
Ew.
Like, meow, meow, meow. I kept on whimpering, unable to move, and he kept on tickling me until I thrashed awake, yelling. I posted this dream on Facebook and my ex-mother-in-law commented, "Nice to be thought of even in nightmares. Love you guys, Shoshana." Wow, for the mother-in-law to chime in. Oh, that's amazing.
You know, I'm just now realizing last night I had a nightmare, and it was one of those things where I did that, where I woke up in a complete panic, where I went like, what's going on?
Right.
And my husband was like, what? You're fine. You're just having a nightmare. And I laid there for a second. I have no idea what I was dreaming, why I woke up in a panic.
That's the worst, when you don't even know what you were dreaming about.
I can't honestly remember that ever happening before, though, where I just like came out of it in just a complete panic. So anyhow, the AI, back to Shoshana, the AI dream bot says that dreaming of your former in-laws mansion, especially in the dead of night, suggests a sense of revisiting past relationships or unresolved feelings. So mansions often symbolize the self, with their many rooms representing different aspects of your personality. The fact that it's cloaked in shadow hints at hidden emotions you might not fully understand. Your decision to tiptoe quietly indicates a desire to navigate these things delicately, perhaps out of a fear of disturbing the status quo. The black hood figure may represent a part of yourself that feels threatening or intimidating. Now, the tickling might suggest that there are aspects of your anxieties that you are trying to avoid, even if they provoke discomfort. Ultimately, this dream seems to be urging you to confront these hidden feelings rather than tiptoeing around them.
So that feels like a lot for one dream.
That does feel like a lot, but I think one of the really cool things to remember is anytime we have dreams, and especially, according to the AI dream analysis that we use, is that whatever it is, even though it feels like outside things acting on you, the dreams always are coming from inside of you. It all represents you in some way. So even when you dream about a gross, hooded figure, what did she say it was?
A black cloak from Riverdale.
Right. So if a Grim Reaper is tickling you, it's not actually the Grim Reaper. It's a representation of yourself somehow. Did that help at all, Shoshana?
I don't think it did. I think it made it worse.
Did it make it worse?
I think she's going to have panic dreams
Probably, yes. And Shoshana, if you want, we'll just prank call your mother-in-law for you.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and our final story of the day comes from Scott.
Hey, Rebecca and Julie. This is Scott Harris from Burleson, Texas. Just making this voice memo real quick because this just happened, literally not even a few minutes ago. So one of our apartment complexes in Uptown, I was told to check in the storage units and the teledata rooms just randomly throughout the night. And I went up to a teledata room that's on the 5th floor. Now we have keys for these, which is where all the telephone lines and whatnot go into the building. And I noticed that the door's ajar, which means that somebody had to have opened it or forced it open. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to check it out. I open the door, lights off. Nobody's inside. I turn my flashlight on and walk inside. These things do not have automatic lighting. It's a light switch on the wall that you manually have to move. And I start hearing below me just this ticking noise. And I'm like, what is that sound? There is a grate in the floor that the main line for the phones and stuff run through. And I go over to that grate and I see into the floor below. And I see the light turn on and turn off. And turn on and turn off. And it's correlating with these ticks. And I'm like, somebody's playing with a light switch downstairs. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to get to them. I'm going to find out who they are. So I walk out of that teledata room. I close the door, make sure it's secure. Now you have to have a key to get into it. Walk over to the stairwell, go down to the 4th floor and use my key because it's locked. I use my key to get into that teledata room and it's empty and the light is off. And then I hear it upstairs. Tick, 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 tick. And I move a little bit further into where I can see through the grate up. And I see the light turning on and off and on and off. I locked that room. I then immediately got out, made sure that door was secure, went upstairs and checked that door. That door was locked. So yeah, I can't explain it. And I'm not going to check those rooms for a while because that freaked me the heck out. So, yeah, y'all have a nice day. Bye.
So upbeat, Scott. Thank you for that positive outlook at the end. Have a nice day.
Can you imagine, though?
No.
taking, like going further into this dark room when you hear that sound and you see the light.
Oh
no.
And like the fact that it was like, haha, I'm going to this floor now. Haha, I'm going to go back down to this floor now.
Oh, it's just messing with you. Thank you so much for that, Scott. That's amazing.
That was phenomenal. All right, guys, if you want more exclusive content early and commercial free, you can become a Haunted AF patron at patreon.com/hauntedaf. We've also got the pre-games over there, years of exclusive content. It is also a really easy way to support the podcast and get in touch with us. There's a pretty tight-knit little community over there.
Yeah, we're able to talk to our patrons because there's not as many of them. And we're clearly back weekly, which means we need your stories. You know the drill by now: ghosts, Bigfoot, UFO, creepy kids, glitches in the Matrix, monsters in the teledata room, whatever that was. We've also been telling about your money glitches, those times that you need money and it just magically shows up. Send those or your crazy dreams to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com so we can use them on season 11 of Haunted AF.